Hey everyone, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps. Today I'm going to share with you how I created my scene card using patterned paper from the Beach Vibes pattern paper pack. Now I'm going to start by doing some Copic coloring, and I'm using the Birds of Paradise, and I've got these two super cute flamingos. But as you can see on that stamp set, there is a ton of images. So I'm going to do the flamingos, and I've got a few little flowers there that I'm also going to bring into this card design. So I am using some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. It is Copic friendly, and I'm also using Honeybee Stamps Intense Black ink, which is also Copic friendly. I'm just going to show you one of these cute little flamingos. The other one I will color off camera, and then I will show you the flowers. So obviously it's a pink flamingo, but I was honestly having trouble finding the right color pinks I wanted in my Copic markers, but I think I finally found it, and I actually brought in a little bit of a darker color to add more of a shadow to this. But as you can see, one of these cute little critters has their leg up and the other one doesn't. I just think these are darling. They really are a fantastic, fun size to color. So these were so much fun to Copic color with. So like usual, I like to lay down my dark color, then my medium, and then my light and blend it out. But here is that darker color RV14 that I'm bringing in. As you can see, just adding that makes this pop just a little bit more. So I was glad I went and pulled this out of my Copic markers. Now, when I was looking at a photo of pink flamingos, I did notice that their wings were a little bit lighter than the rest of their body. So that's why I'm going to color these. And then their legs are also just a little bit lighter. The tip of their nose is black, which I used some sea colored markers for. And then a little bit of pink here I feathered up to the top and left a little bit of a white area. So I'm going to come in with C1 and just kind of feather that back down into that little bit of pink. So here are the wings. Like I said, I did a little bit lighter than the body, and I'm just kind of flicking with my marker to give feather looks instead of just coloring it in like I would on a normal image. Then I'm going to color the eyes with a turquoise. I did BG 10 and 11, which just kind of made their cute little eyes pop. And then here I'm just going to finish out the legs. Then we can color these flowers. I decided to do a yellow and orange, and I thought that would be really pretty against this pink. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using some patterned paper to make my background, so definitely stick around for that because it's super easy, especially if you don't want to ink blend or, use stencils or anything like that. This is really super, super quick. So if you really wanted to make some really quick and simple scene cards, using patterned paper is kind of the way to go. Now I'm going to use the coordinating dies, obviously, to cut these out. So I'm using my low tack tape to put that in place, and then I can run that through my die cut machine. Okay, so now I will be using the Beach Vibes 6x6 paper pack, and here's my first piece that I used. I already trimmed that down just a little bit, and then I've got this cute sand piece here. It looks like it should have texture to it, but it doesn't. Then I'm going to use the Horizon Slimline borders to cut me two like little wavy sand areas. So I'll just tape that in place, run that through my die cut machine. And then we can stamp the sentiment. I want to do that first before I glue everything together. So I am stamping from the Tropical Tweets stamp set, and it says "We Flamingo Together." And I'm doing some white heat embossing, so I did prep it with a powder tool. I used Honeybee Stamps clear ink and then sprinkled on my white embossing powder. Okay, so let's start getting this card together. I'm going to lay down my first little sand part with my tape runner. Then the other little piece I will pop up with foam tape. Now, I was going to die cut some bigger flowers and leaves from the Tropical Bouquets die, and you can kind of see that at the top part of my screen that I have these flowers. But I was so glad that when I opened up that die, a bunch of leaves and flowers already fell out that I had used forever ago and decided to keep, and I just stashed them in with the dies. So I didn't have to die cut anything, they were already there. So I am going to be using those. Now I did add some black glaze pen and white highlights to my little pink flamingo images here. And aren't they so cute? I love these. I just think they're so, so darling. Normally I do that at the end, but I just decided to change it up a little. So let's adhere those. I am going to not add foam tape behind these guys. I want to add the leaves and flowers on top, and those will be popped up with foam tape. I want it to look like you are seeing these cute flamingos through a bunch of greenery. I also decided to take my white gel pen to that patterned paper and just make little white ripples in the ocean in the background. You could have left it to look like a sky, but it was created to look like the ocean, and so that I wanted to keep that look going. So now let's add in some foam tape to these images that I was talking about that I already had in my die cut pack from like forever ago, you guys. So I'm just gonna pop those up with a little bit of foam tape and just lay these out. The flowers were already in pink and orange, so I can add my colored flowers to this. I mean, it totally works out perfect. So again, just kind of tucking each flower, or excuse me, each leaf behind another one and adding foam tape. And then I'm going to add a little bit more at the bottom on the left. And it's just going to feel like you're just looking through this beautiful greenery, walking through on the sand, and then you see these cute little flamingos. So let me just tuck this last one in right here. And I love that there are different colors of green, so that way you can actually see what the heck is going on. It's not all the same color. And then these flowers are going to be popped up with foam tape. And then I can bring in those other little flowers. I do want to add one of those to the little flamingo with eyelashes because she's a cute little girl. And so she's wearing a beautiful flower. And then the other three colored flowers I can just adhere around in those leaves. And I will trim off the excess, and I did decide to add one more leaf on this left side, and then I'm just going to trim that off all the way around. And then I'm going to add this to a white A2 size card base. But before I'm done, I decided to come in with the Crystal Mix Dewdrops and add those to the centers of those larger flowers, and then just kind of all over the place. There was 3 different sizes that I used, and I love these kind of dewdrops, especially for beach or tropical themes. But now we have this simple scene card completely finished using patterned paper. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you feel inspired. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.